4 Iranian missile boats break formation at dawn and turn hard toward a United States Navy destroyer. What happens in the next 17 minutes will decide whether the morning ends with routine patrol reports or emergency calls to the Pentagon. And the scariest part? Most of the world will never even know it happened. This is the USS Court, a guided missile destroyer running escort duty for a carrier strike group in the Persian Gulf. It's 5:17 a.m. local time, and on the radar screen inside the ship's combat information center, 4 surface contacts are closing fast. Not fishing boats, not merchant traffic. Iranian fast attack craft moving with coordination and intent, their wakes cutting white scars across dark water as they converge on the American warship. But here's where this story gets dangerous. These aren't just patrol boats making a statement. These are purpose-built missile platforms, and they're executing what every naval officer recognizes as classic attack geometry. 1 boat pressures the bow, 2 squeeze from the flank, the 4th hangs back to exploit whatever chaos follows. It's textbook small boat tactics, and it's happening at knife fighting range in some of the most contested waters on the planet. The watch officer's voice cuts through the bridge intercom, clean and controlled the way the Navy trains people to sound when everything just went sideways. 4 surface tracks bearing 086 range 16 nautical miles and closing. With those words, the morning stops being routine. Outside the windows, the sea is flat black under pre-dawn darkness, and off in the distance, 4 smaller silhouettes are rising and falling through the chop, their profiles sharpening with each radar sweep. The captain arrives on the bridge already reading the tactical display before anyone speaks. 4 contacts closing, speed building, intercept geometry tightening. He issues 2 orders that will define everything that follows. Log everything, and hail them. The radio operator transmits immediately, voice steady and unambiguous. Iranian naval vessels, this is United States warship conducting lawful transit. You are approaching at unsafe speed, alter course immediately. The transmission hangs in the air and then nothing. No reply, no acknowledgement, just silence. And outside, the 4 wakes grow longer and harder and unmistakable. At 5:19, the Iranian boats split into pairs, and this is the moment when the setup becomes visible. 2 angle wider to starboard, 1 stays centered dead ahead. The 4th accelerates hardest of all, with the kind of confidence that only makes sense if the crews already know what they intend to do. The lead boat is now pushing 28 knots, and through binoculars, its profile is unmistakable. Low hull, narrow silhouette, aggressive bow rise under throttle. The officer of the deck looks up from the radar repeater and says what everyone is thinking. That's no observation run. The electronic warfare operator speaks for the first time that morning, his voice calm, but his words are not intermittent surface search emissions from the lead group. They're painting us. The captain asks about fire control radar, and the answer comes back immediately. Negative, not yet. But those 2 words hang on the bridge like cold metal, because everyone knows what they imply. Not yet means it could be. Not yet means we're watching for it. Not yet means the line between monitoring and engagement is thinner than the hull plating beneath their feet. Range drops to 12 nautical miles, then 11.5, and the lead Iranian boat surges again as another cuts inward from starboard. The formation is no longer moving parallel to the carrier group. They're converging on the court itself, and the tactical geometry is screaming one thing. This is not improvisation. This is coordinated pressure designed to force the American ship into a box where good options disappear fast. At 5:21, everything changes. The electronic warfare operator calls out sharper this time. Multiple emitters active. Lead group is scanning both ship and aircraft. Because now there's a helicopter in the air, rotors chopping dawn air into hard rhythmic beats as it slides forward over the destroyer's starboard side. The helo pilot checks in immediately, airborne, pushing to investigate. And the captain's response tells you everything about how thin the margin has become. Keep safe separation. I want eyes, not heroics. But the Iranians react almost instantly. Through the helicopter's camera feed, men can be seen moving on deck. Another boat angles outward, trying to open a different lane. The centered boat holds steady, still aimed toward the escort's forward quarter like it hasn't gotten the message or doesn't care. And then CIC breaks in with the words that rewrite the entire morning. Possible canister alignment observed on the lead contact. For the first time since this started, nobody on the bridge moves at all, because possible canister alignment is Navy speak for missile posture, and missile posture is the phrase that sits right on the edge of the rules of engagement. It's the moment when a commander has to decide whether what he's seeing is preparation or bluff, and if he guesses wrong, people die. The helicopter feed jolts as the aircrew banks to maintain angle, and on the screen the lead boat's bow throws spray wide as it turns just enough to expose more of its forward deck. For one brief second, something catches the dawn light. Metallic, angular, wrong. The pilot's voice comes through tighter now. Lead contact just changed heading. That was deliberate. And then the electronic warfare station calls again. Louder this time. Spike in emissions from the lead group. We may be seeing targeting refinement. This is the moment, not launch, not impact. The moment before, when every trained instinct on the ship is screaming that the next movement could be the one that changes everything. The captain doesn't shout. He doesn't need to. Stand by all defensive stations. And across the destroyer, steel and circuitry and men lock into one held breath. At 5:28, with the Iranian boats inside 10 nautical miles and still closing, the captain makes the decision that breaks the trap. Right full rudder, come 5 degrees to starboard. It's not a retreat, not evasive panic. It's a sharp controlled reposition that changes everything at once. The destroyer's bow begins to swing, and suddenly the lead Iranian boat, which had been driving toward a clean crossing line, finds the angle collapsing under it. The helicopter drops lower, not aggressively, just enough to hit the Iranian formation at exactly the wrong moment. The rotor wash lashes the sea into white spray as the aircraft cuts across the outer edge of the starboard pair. And the timing does what weapons couldn't. The formation breaks. Contact 2 just checked speed. The electronic warfare operator calls up from below. Lead emissions just spiked, then dropped. They lost coherence, and losing coherence means losing the... By 5:29, it's over. 3 of the Iranian missile boats are already pulling away. Their formation shattered. Their trap collapsed. The 4th lingers for 10 seconds that feel longer than the previous 10 minutes. And when its bow begins to slide away, slow at first, then more decisively, CIC calls it. All contacts moving off. The captain keeps watching through the glass until the turn is undeniable, and only then does he speak. Very well. Maintain surveillance. I want full logs preserved. That's how the moment ends on a US Navy warship. Not with celebration, with procedure. Because what happened out here will matter long after the wakes disappear. Iran had come in fast, silent and coordinated. It was a clean setup until it met a ship that didn't panic. The Iranians forced the geometry, but the Americans controlled the outcome. So here's the question that should keep you awake tonight. Did Iran miscalculate the destroyer's response, or did the US Navy deliberately let them see exactly how far they could push before the line closed forever? Because in 17 minutes of silence and steel, both sides learned something about the other. And in the Persian Gulf, that kind of education can be the difference between deterrence and disaster.